Imagine for a moment, you possess a time machine. Could you journey back to the past and change the course of history? Now, isn't that a thought that sends a shiver down your spine? Time travel, a concept that once resided only within the pages of science fiction, is now a topic of serious scientific debate. The ability to leap through the ages, to witness firsthand the rise and fall of empires, or perhaps to subtly alter the course of your own life. Fascinating, isn't it? But with such a powerful tool comes a slew of mind-boggling questions. What happens if you change something in the past that drastically alters the future? Are we talking about one timeline or multiple? Could you perhaps prevent your own birth? These are not just theoretical speculations. They're fundamental questions about the nature of our universe. Ponder on this as we delve deeper into one of the most perplexing paradoxes of time travel, the grandfather paradox. So, what is this grandfather paradox all about? Well, let's paint a picture. Imagine you've got your hands on a time machine. You decide to take a trip back to a period long before your parents ever met. Your goal? To stop your grandfather from ever crossing paths with your grandmother. You're successful, and the two never meet. This means that one of your parents was never born, and by extension, neither were you. But here's where things start to twist and turn. If you were never born, how could you have ever possessed a time machine to journey back in time? How could you have prevented your grandparents from meeting? This is the enigma that is the grandfather paradox. It's a classic example of a situation where the cause-effect rule that we're so accustomed to doesn't seem to apply. Normally, events unfold in a linear order. A cause always precedes its effect. But in the realm of time travel, this rule appears to break down. The paradox disrupts the usual link between cause and effect. The act of preventing your grandparents from meeting is the cause, and the effect is you never being born. But if you were never born, you couldn't have been the cause in the first place. It's a mind-bending cycle that seems to defy logic. And it's not just about whether you can change the past. It's about whether you can change the past in such a way that prevents your own birth. It's about whether your actions in the past can have consequences that erase your ability to act in the first place. It's a question that delves into the very nature of time, causality, and existence itself. So, we've got our setup: a time machine, a trip to the past, and an action that prevents your own existence. And we've got our dilemma. If you prevent your own birth, how could you have traveled back in time to begin with? Quite a conundrum, isn't it? Let's explore the key arguments and possible solutions. Could there be a logical explanation for this paradox? Let's delve into the key arguments and possible solutions. Normally, events unfold in a linear order. Cause precedes effect. This is the bedrock of our logic. We plant a seed, and then a tree grows. But what if time travel is possible? Could you alter what has already happened? If you could, you'd be violating causality, the fundamental link between cause and effect. This is the crux of the grandfather paradox. It's like trying to unscramble an egg. It goes against the natural order of things. Some theorists suggest that time travel might not work like that. Instead, it could create new histories or timelines. In this model, any changes you make in the past don't affect your original timeline, but create a new one. You could prevent your grandparents from meeting, but it wouldn't erase your existence. It would simply create a parallel timeline where you were never born. But what if the universe has hidden rules to prevent such paradoxes? Some physicists speculate about the idea of a chronology protection conjecture. This is the notion that the laws of physics might inherently forbid time travel to the past. It's as if the universe has a built-in safeguard to preserve the order of cause and effect. Or perhaps it's a matter of physical impossibility. Maybe the energy requirements for time travel are so enormous that they're beyond the reach of any conceivable technology. This would neatly sidestep the issue of paradoxes because time travel itself would be impossible. These theories offer intriguing possibilities. But how would the paradox play out in real-life scenarios? Let's consider a few hypothetical scenarios. First, think about the invention of the time machine. Suppose, in your time-traveling exploits, you inadvertently prevent the birth of the genius who invents the time machine. This results in a paradox. If the time machine were never invented, then how could you have used it to travel back in time? Next, ponder over the impact of altering your younger self's career choices. Say you convince your younger self to become a biologist instead of an engineer. Consequently, your life takes a different path, and the person who originally journeyed back in time no longer exists in the form they once were. This, again, creates a paradox. Now, Imagine a scenario involving the extinction of critical elements. Picture a botanist armed with a time machine, stepping on a rare flower in the past. This seemingly insignificant act results in the flower's extinction. But what if that flower played a crucial role in human evolution? The botanist, by causing the extinction of the flower, would inadvertently prevent their own existence. This is yet another iteration of the grandfather paradox. Lastly, consider meddling with medical advancements. Introducing modern medicine to an earlier era might seem like a noble act, but it could have unintended consequences. For instance, if the introduction of modern medicine in the past leads to an extended lifespan for the person who would have otherwise died young and whose descendant would have invented the time machine, it creates a paradox. The time machine's invention might be delayed or might never happen, thereby preventing you from traveling back in time. Each scenario presents its own paradox, further complicating our understanding of time travel. Despite these mind-bending scenarios, the grandfather paradox remains a captivating puzzle. The very idea of time travel challenges our understanding of the universe and our place in it. It's a concept that dances on the edge of our comprehension, tantalizingly out of reach, yet persistently intriguing. The grandfather paradox, with its seemingly impossible conundrum, is a perfect illustration of this. As we've explored, the paradox presents a scenario where you travel back in time and prevent your own birth. This disrupts the linear flow of cause and effect that we're accustomed to, creating a logical inconsistency that our brains struggle to reconcile. Some propose that the solution lies in the concept of multiple timelines. They suggest that time travel doesn't alter your original timeline, but rather creates a new one. So your actions in the past wouldn't erase your existence, but would merely spawn a different reality where you were never born. Yet, this theory, while fascinating, is not without its own set of questions and challenges. Others posit that perhaps the universe has hidden laws that inherently prevent such paradoxes. Could it be that the cosmos has its own fail-safe mechanisms to maintain order and prevent such mind-bending conundrums? This is a proposal that adds a layer of mystique to our understanding of the universe. The grandfather paradox and time travel in general continue to be subjects of intense interest among scientists, philosophers, and thinkers alike. These concepts push the boundaries of our understanding, challenge our perceptions of reality, and fuel our collective curiosity. They represent the unending quest for knowledge and the human spirit's insatiable desire to explore the unknown. So as we continue to delve into these captivating puzzles, let's remember to keep an open mind and a healthy dose of skepticism. After all, the universe is full of mysteries waiting to be unraveled. And who knows? Perhaps one day we'll crack the code of time travel. So if you ever find yourself face to face with your grandfather in the past, remember to proceed with caution.